What's up? What's up, everyone from NYC Financial District? I'm in my room because it's so loud outside. If I was outside, I don't think you guys would be able to hear me at all. If anyone wants to come up, just raise your hand. Free mic, open mic. I should have changed the settings here to invite people right away. But yeah, all's well. We'll do a little recap of consensus, but also just anyone that wants to talk about whatever. Open mic. It's all good. So happy Friday. Good morning to everyone. Just getting finished with my Starbucks. I'm ready to get it going. And we got Chirp Chirp coming up. What up? What up? What up? Nope, you got rugged. Thank you, pranked, man. It's all good. Oh, there you go again. Chirp Chirp. Yep.
Bro, what's up? Thank you for having this space.
Yeah, man, all good. I was going to do it outside, but it's like
Heard that
extremely
this
loud where I'm at.
Friday,
Can you hear me?
it's pretty
I think
loud
you just got
outside.
rugged again.
Yeah.
Are you on your phone or your PC? Hello?
Yo, can you hear me?
If you can hear me, I just removed you. I'm going to bring you back up. If you're not on your phone, I would highly recommend to be on your phone. What up, Adam? Yo, Adam on. What's up, bro? Yo, yo, yo. Is everyone getting rugged right now? If you can hear me, do a thumbs up. Anyone out there? Yo. Yo, Adam. Go ahead. You can talk. You're on mute. All right, people are giving me thumbs up. Good. Sounds like we're on a delay, though. Chirp, chirp.
Chirp, chirp. Can you guys hear me now? I switched phones. I think this could be better.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, I can hear both of you now. Good shit. That was driving me nuts, man. What's up, fellas?
I'm doing great. The weather's really great outside here. And yeah, I've heard that Homestead is not doing the Fresh Friday space. So maybe Freshman Friday space. Maybe I thought that I wanted to join here and maybe talk a little bit about, NFTs, memes.
Yeah.
You know what's up.
Yeah, man, for sure, bro. Yeah, I just got back on whatever day it was. Time flies. Last Friday? No. Saturday. I went back Saturday from Consensus and then hopped on a train yesterday. Now I'm in New York for DevMos, which is kind of like low key, just a lot of the Cosmos, like OG builders. It's not really like an event for like, kind of like the public, and they're just going to be building cool shit and kind of showing it to the other teams what they're building and working on. So I'm going to be there tomorrow and Sunday to kind of cover it, see what's going on, nerd out, see what's fun, and yeah, man, it's always a good time. Anytime I get an excuse to come to New York City, I'm here. It's always fun. The weather's beautiful out. Last time I was here, it was awful. It rained the entire time. It was freezing cold. That was just basically the middle of April. Now it's June, so not that long ago. The weather was shit. It's really nice out now, so it's cool. I'm excited to after the space go check some stuff out. I haven't stayed in the financial district in a long time, and it's kind of cool here now compared to when I was here last time. So I'm excited to go check that out. But I guess my TLDR on Consensus was it was cool. Everything was kind of AI, which was expected. It's like the trend, right? AI. It was AI, RWAs, GameFi, and then that was kind of it ish. Metaverses. As much as I like GameFi, I try to stay away from it from like an investor standpoint because I feel like building a game costs so much money, right? And then you need to have the users, so it's like really hit or miss, like very very miss, and every once in a while you get a hit. But like investing in like AI and RWAs, it's more of a hit than a miss. So you can almost, not financial advice, like shut your eyes and kind of throw money at some stuff and you'll probably do okay. Or DPIN too. Excuse me, that was another narrative, DPIN, but that's been one thing. So it's kind of like, for me as an investor, I like to throw money at that stuff because it seems like a more of a stickiness compared to throwing money at GameFi. So that's me. But anyways, enough of the serious talk. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, I wanted to. You don't play any games like on your phone or on your, yeah, I don't know, game console or anything. Like you don't
I
play games.
I used to. I'm getting old, man. I just don't have time. But like right now, when I do game, it's gonna sound so nerdy. I just play chess. It's just like, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, even Fortnite. Actually, in fact, back in the day, I made money. Not a lot, but I made some money playing Fortnite. And
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm a PC gamer, so I converted when COVID happened. Actually, like right before COVID, I built my computer. Literally the year before, like not even a full year before COVID hit. I transitioned, and I'm an older person for gaming. I'm 38 now, so that was in my 30s. Like in my 30s. So it's kind of cool to be that old, I guess, and make some money against some
Of
kids, I
course, of
guess,
course.
right? Um,
Like, I don't know if you saw this. Like, you told me you play chess, but I saw this project. I don't know if it's still ongoing, but like, there was a project that you could play chess against other players, completely on chain, and like the players could set the amount of money they're willing to put their game. I don't know. Like you said, you want to stay out of GameFi, etc., etc. But like, what do you think of this idea? Like, would you play this?
so you're talking about kind of like gambling, playing chess?
But it's not gambling because you're playing against a player, so it's like
Yeah.
you're gaming, but there's a small reward, maybe $5 or $10.
Yeah, no, I would do something like that but it needs to be timed. I don't know if they do timed. I don't play like, oh, you get to sit there and analyze every move before you move. I play 2 minute games, so you get 2 minutes and I get 2 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Because one, I don't have time to be sitting there messing around, but two, it's like anyone, and I don't want to say anyone, but really anyone could do really well playing with no time because you sit there and you can analyze everything. It's more about moving and knowing moves and kind of having patterns and
Of course,
memorization
the
of patterns.
strategy and like the outcome, thinking of where it's gonna end at before you make a move, for example.
Yeah. And I don't want to say I'm like the best chess player because I'm definitely not, but I'm really good. And like I usually play around, like, for anyone that plays, my like ratings usually in the 1700s, which is pretty good. And I'm always playing on my phone. When you play on like chess.com, people are usually playing on the computer, so it's a lot easier to move quicker because a lot of the games just come down to time. It's just like you sacrifice pieces just so like, okay, technically you're down in this game, but you're going to win because the other opponent's not going to have enough time to get the position on certain angles and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I like doing that. And really, if I had the time, I would play more games. I just don't have the time, dude. I'm always nerding out trying to like keep up with the space and what the trends are, and then try to hopefully share that with others. And then for me, I've been doing pretty good with these stupid meme coins, and I'm usually not a big memer, but like for throwing money at it. But there's been some good ones. Like I called out beer when it was pre-sale. Now beer is like a top. I don't know. It's definitely top 200 now, like in all of crypto. Like I called it when it was at like 6 million. Now it's at like 400 million. So that was a pretty good one. And then the other one is Mother, which like Iggy Azalea's behind, which is kind of funny if you think about it. That a musician, like if you look on her Twitter, I mean, she has like 7.6 million followers, and she's like a full-time memer now. It's hilarious. And her NFTs a Mad Lad, which I have one of those too. And yeah, and it's like, I don't know what it's at now. It was like pumping. Yesterday it did like a X, and it's probably in a couple 100 million market cap now. I still think it's probably going to run a little bit more, but I try to just throw some fun money at like meme coins, because if I lose it, it's like, all right, well, it kind of sucks, but it's whatever. I'm not going to sit here. Some people are nuts though. Like someone bought like $2 million worth of Mother yesterday or the day before. I'm like, damn, that's you're a degen. Because I mean that might be little money to that person, obviously, but still that's a lot of money to throw at a meme coin. But I guess if you hit, like, imagine throwing a couple million at that beer coin that I was calling back when it was like 6 million. Now it's at like 400. Like, you do the math, like that's pretty good ROI there. But yeah, man, I don't know. I hope we got Adam up in here. I would love for like a meme coin to kind of just like flourish in Cosmos. It like hasn't happened. I don't know, man. Like, I want it to happen.
I don't know if you saw this one. There's one brewing. I'm sure you've seen posts about it. I think right now it's not even that old. I think it's
What, ship
maybe
most?
a month or two. Yeah, of course, shitmost,
Yeah.
bro. Number two.
Yeah. What's the see the problem though with the ones in Cosmos right now is like usually there's not like a lot of deep liquidity, so it doesn't take much for it to just pump, and then people are like, oh yeah, it's up, blah blah blah. Well, it's like, okay, yeah. If someone just sells a little bit, it's also right back down. Like these ones I'm talking about, man, they got like you can just buy like 2 million worth and like it'll move it, but it's not going to move
So
it
what
up.
blockchain is this on? Like
Yeah,
Solana?
Solana's just like I know a lot about Solana. Like people in Cosmos used to shit on me, but I was shilling that's the only thing that I would shill that wasn't Cosmos back in the day. And I started shilling it when it was like I got confirmation. I actually bought like a decent amount of it when it was under $10, and people thought I was nuts. I think I made one call, if you like go back to my Twitter, because I didn't want to like call it and then it dumps and everyone hates my guts. But once it confirmed and it got into like the $15-20 range, then I started showing it a little bit. Like, hey, I think it's worth buying right now. And then now you look what it's done. So like that's been one of my better buys in the bear market was Solana. Like I thought most of the the shitstorm that happened really didn't have much to do with their tech. It was just like the FTX thing, and then you look and they're talking about launching their phone and stuff, and I'm like, man, like it's either going to zero, which is probably this is my conclusion with most of my investments. It's like it's either going to zero or this is like the best buy. And usually I think to myself, like, this shit ain't going to zero. I did the same thing with a Kosh. Like, a Kosh was under like 20 cents. And I wrote on my Twitter, I was like, my first buy was at $2.96. So, like, that I'm down bad with that first initial buy. But nothing changed. Like, the narrative didn't change with it because they were doing stuff DPIN before DPIN was a thing. And then I looked at it, and it was almost like somewhat of the gambler's adage where you're like down at the casino and you still have cash in your pocket and you're like, screw it. Like, I'm either going home with nothing or I'm at least breaking even and heading home or cutting into my deficit. And I kind of had that, but I also was like, I think this is probably going to be a great buy. So I bought, I didn't go all in or anything, but I bought when it was like 25 cents, and then it went down to like 20, and then it went down to like 17, and then I was like, all right, that's my last buy. And then now you look at it, I don't know what it's at, but it's been pumping up to $6 or so. So like that was a pretty good bang. I try to, like, when I invest right now, when I feel comfortable throwing some stuff at some stuff, it's always like an actual tech. It's not just another L1 or just another this. It usually has some sort of narrative behind it. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of, if you're going to throw money at stuff, you kind of have to take calculated gambles. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I look at these EVM solutions and yeah, they're pretty good, but I just am not interested when they're raising money like Barachain. Like I think Barachain's going to do so well. Like first off, they raised a shitload of money, and when you raise a shitload of money, if you have anyone that knows what they're doing, they're going to take a lot of that money, they're going to hire the best market makers and the best marketing, and they're going to shill it so hard that it's going to keep going up at first, at least. And then once these VCs start dumping all their staking rewards or whatever the hell they usually do, then there's like some sell pressure, but that'll probably do good. But am I going to throw money at it? Probably not, because I don't think it's going to do that good a return. one of the raises is at like $2.5 billion valuation, I think it was. I'm just not interested in something like that. That's just too high for me, because it's like, how high can it go? Like, Ethereum's ripping and it's so old. And what is that at? Like, the market cap of, Ethereum, maybe, I don't know, how many billions of dollars is that right now? 80, 100? So it's like, how much can you really catch Ethereum on day one? No, you're not going to. So it's like, I'm not interested. So anyways, Adam, I haven't heard from you, man. What's going on?
Hey, not too much. How you doing?
Good. What's going on with you guys, though? Like, I know you guys are doing your thing.
Yeah, I'm just hitting the Twitter, trying to promote Adam as much as possible here, and with residual promotion of the Adam 1K token. So holding steady at 100 to 110K FDV. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Once Adam picks up, we'll have a lot more burns and kind of performance-based burns, I guess, in alignment with Adam. So it's kind of the leverage Adam play. If you're an Adam maxi, I know we're kind of low FDV right now, but not going anywhere. And my goal here, I've been in Adam since 2021 and caught the Osmo drop, and kind of a long-term Adam guy. So
yeah, you're not down money then.
An avenue for me to promote Adam, and then also, if you like what we're doing, you can buy the coin, and we'll get bigger reach for both the coin and Adam, as the Twitter grows. So that's kind of the goal here.
Yeah, nice. I mean, so that it's like I put out the post too. It's like, you're essentially not down money if you got into Adam when you said you did. It's impossible, because like all the airdrops you got, even if one of those airdrops you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna like sell it and put it in my bank or whatever, you probably already got your money back just from like the Osmo airdrop or the Juno airdrop, when that Juno used to be worth a damn. The Chihuahua one, like that was a big one back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, they just kept coming back in 21. If you were in January, and Sonny sent out that tweet to get your tokens off the exchange, and we were kind of off to the races back then, eh?
Yeah, I know. Like, Osmo was the first. Shout out to Osmo. Osmo was the first crypto in all of crypto to reach the top 100 per market cap without being listed on a centralized exchange. And then obviously they started putting them on exchanges. But most of those back end, because I was actually helping out with Osmo back in the day, we legit would have, and they weren't scammers. They were legit people from different exchanges saying, hey, we want you guys to do blah 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 to get our your token listed back in. And we were always, the adage was, if you want it, buy it just like everyone else, and then you're free to do whatever you want with the crypto. Like, you and I could start up an exchange and do whatever if we had enough capital, right? And that's how it was. It was really cool that Osmo pumped in there, and then Juno was shortly behind it as this number 2 crypto ever to reach the top 100 without being listed on a centralized exchange. Because you still get it. Sometimes you get some goofballs that like all they ever do is go win Binance, but like back end, that's legit what everyone would do. Win Binance. You go in the chats, any chats, win Binance, win Binance, win Binance. And you still get some goofballs that do that, but the whole win Binance thing, it's not really a thing anymore, because even if you do get listed on like Binance, I'm not saying it's bad to get listed on there, because it's just more eyeballs to see your project, but it's not a guarantee that you're just going to pump. Like back end, even before 2021 or whatever, like if stuff got listed on centralized exchanges, it would automatically just pump for no reason, because everyone would just buy it or FOMO in. But that's not a thing anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how we've kind of always been like that. Like, I got into crypto in 2013, and people were waiting for, MintPal listings and such, and Poloniex listings. So it's always been looking forward to that CEX listing, and not much has changed there, but we're kind of disrupting it here with the DEX economy. So
Yeah, which is nice, man, because at least the centralized, there's not really. Well, there is. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't any risk, because there's always risk. Like, there's always some sort of advertent risk when you invest, but you don't have to worry about some dude taking your crypto and leveraging it or borrowing against it or doing whatever they want to do. to make money with it, and then you're kind of held casualty because of their misfortune. Now, for a centralized exchange, I'm not going to say they're all bad. I really like Coinbase and Crypto.com. I think those are two legitimate players that are, not doing anything shady. And maybe they do some shady shit. I don't know. I don't think they do. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
I like Kraken as well. I mean, they've been around for a while, and they seem I think they're launching an IPO next year, as far as I understand. So
Yeah, because I mean, one of the things I even noticed at the consensus, consensus, in my opinion, is not really community driven whatsoever, because one, it is so expensive to buy the ticket. So like a lot of people aren't going to go just because of that. But it is good for, I've seen a lot of like hobbyists, and I've seen a lot of Web 2 people and boomers. Like that's basically the genre that was at the main event. Now there's side events, like there's always going to be side events, and that's everyone. But the main event had a lot of that, and I still seen people, because I was helping with the ride chain, and they would come over and be like, oh yeah, you guys are on Crypto.com. Is there anything to do with my ride token? Like they're all just holding it on the centralized exchanges still. And I would feel like a lot of people, especially that are that age, are probably still doing that. And it's kind of cool that Coinbase is tapping into the account abstraction. They're launching that wallet. They just put a tweet out about it maybe yesterday or the day before, but basically they're going to try to do DeFi and all that without, making it hard on people. And I know that's kind of the goal in general for everyone. Like I know Osmosis is going to have smart wallets, or they already do, maybe, I'm not sure, but that's going to be a thing. And just making it so easy that people can kind of make money with their money or invest without needing to go, oh, well, like, let me deposit it. And I think Osmosis does a really good job. Like it has the same feel as a centralized exchange. It's actually even better because it has all the addresses. You just click deposit, and then your wallet's connected. It already knows what your address is supposed to be for every single blockchain that's on there. And then same thing with withdrawal. It's right on there. It just already tells you, so you don't need to sit there and tab to a different screen and copy and paste, and then, oh shit, I forgot a memo. Like that's a thing too. I see that so much. People hit me up. Well, what do I do now? I sent it to KuCoin and I didn't have my memo. Well, it's like, you need to contact them. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing that the blockchain could do. It's sent already. That's the beauty of blockchain. Once it's sent, it's immutable. Like it is what it is. So
yeah, I think these dexes, they're also, I'm in Canada, and they systematically they pulled out almost every sex from Canada. Binance left, KuCoin left. I really have like Gate. You can't access any of these things. So we can get to crypto.com, but they don't list all the up and coming ones as well, which is what we like to do, right? So yeah, I think these dexes are quite important. So
oh yeah, I mean, I don't know, like sometimes I get worried, like in the future, well, like dexes, I think they'll always be a thing, but there's just so much regulatory pressure. It's mainly just America that's doing it. But I don't know if you've seen that recent clip of that knucklehead Jim Cramer like interviewing Gary Gensler. Did you see that at all?
oh yeah, that one's making the rounds.
Yeah, and I'm sure he did. And Kramer was saying, well, he was talking about Sushi Swap and kind of different swaps, and then he said Osmosis. They're doing hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of sales, I think he was calling it, and then Gary's response is like, oh well, the things that these exchanges are doing, that wouldn't be allowed to be done here at the stock exchange that we're located at right now. And I'm just like, whatever, man. Like this
And then
dude
like
sucks.
the New York Stock Exchange had like these massive glitches. It's like, come on now.
Yeah, and even the whole like regulatory stuff and like, dude, there's been so much insider trading. Even people that are high up in politics, their spouses or their family members, they're doing all this insider trading, and it's like they've been doing it forever. So what are you talking about? It's worse. It's even worse at the exchanges. The only thing that I kind of agree with crypto, or what their whole premise is in a essence, and I still don't want them to do it, but you don't the exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange, they don't essentially broker, like hold your actual stocks like a broker does. But again, I don't like I like that crypto doesn't do that, because the less people that are interacting with your money, the better, because everyone's leeches. It's like, why does this person over here, this dickhead over here, get to take a piece of my stock? If I want to sell my Tesla 2 years from now, why do they get a piece of the action? Like, they're no one to me. Like, it should just be all my money, because one, it's my money to invest in Tesla. Maybe it goes down to zero, or like, are you going to give me a refund? But then when I go to sell it at a little bit of a profit and blah, 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 this jackass over here gets, 3% or some shit for doing nothing. It's like, what are they doing? They get a win-win. All they do is just do nothing, and they get the win at life. And there's been so many, families, and so many, generations after generations of families that have basically leached off of people that just get to keep like making money for doing basically nothing. So crypto doesn't have that, which is cool. It's like you buy whatever you buy, and there's not these intermediaries in front of. Now, the centralized exchanges, they take their cut. It is what it is. Like, you look at Coinbase, they can get their cut, because Coinbase is kind of cool if you want to stack, like stable coins. I think right now it's like 5.15%. And then if you do the Coinbase One, it's like 5.5%. So like, it's decent, because I don't really think you're getting those yields at any savings accounts, like at any bank. So it's, like, I'm sure some of those fees kind of go back into that, and whatever else. I never really looked into how they come up with those, percentages or whatever, but I'm sure it's something like that. So, it is what it is. I just, I don't know, man. It just sucks that we're at this point where America's kind of pushing out innovation because of like just the game and racket they've had going on forever now. So, because it was not like that back in like the 90s. It was just like, America was like, yeah, let's, bring on all this innovation. No bars. So just do what you need to do. Now it's like the opposite. It's like, oh, you got to listen to this and this and this, and then we're just going to change the rules mid-game. It's just like, it's kind of embarrassing. But anyways, I digress.
Hey, I got to drop off to a meeting, but appreciate the chat, and we'll look forward to it again next week. Take care.
Yeah, man. Stop by whenever. Thanks for stopping by. So if anyone wants to come up, open mic, tell me what you got going on, what you like, what you're doing. Anyone, doesn't matter. Because I don't want to talk to myself. But it's all good if I have to. I'm just pumped for what's going on right now. I think the market's looking pretty good in general. And I'm not really sure what I'm looking at right now in the market, because I feel pretty good with all my positions. But I like a lot of stuff that's going on. So come up if you want. See Entity, what's going on. If you want to stop by. Chirp, chirp. See you still. Oh, shoot. Hope I didn't just rug. Yeah, your mic good or what, dude? Can you hear me? The worst mic. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
yeah, I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah, what are you doing that you keep like getting rugged? Oh, good. What up, Chris?
What's up, dude? Could you not hear Bird?
He chirps, and then like he'll just get rugged, or he's just doing it on purpose, which is kind of funny. He's kind of trolling right now. I kind of think it's funny, but
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a delay this morning, I noticed, like whenever you pull people up. But what's up, man? How's it going?
nah, man, just chilling. I'm not like in my usual setting, so I'm kind of just winging a space. I'm in a hotel room that has zero soundproof windows. I put a tweet out last night. I legit felt like I was sleeping outside in the streets of New York. There was like construction going on right outside. There was like, I could hear that loud ass obnoxious sound when like the garbage men are like coming to pick up your
Yeah,
garbage.
exactly.
I heard that all night. It was like, damn, how much garbage are these people picking up? And then there's just like people just wooing, like Ric Flair outside all day, all night. It was like, damn, this dude's getting after. He just keeps wooing for no reason. He's probably on crack or something. It's just like, That's funny, man. You gotta love New York, though.
Yeah, dude, you gotta love New York. I can't wait to go back. My wife really wants to go. She's never been, and that's one of our trips this year. We're gonna definitely try to do. Probably in the fall though.
Nice. Yeah, last time I was here was mid-April. I stayed at the Moxie in Williamsburg, which is Brooklyn. It was real fun. So, like, if you want to have a good fun time, I would say that's probably a good spot to go because, like, I forget the street, whatever the main road is, but there's so much stuff, man. Like, it's all in walking distance. Like, put it this way: if I had to live here, I probably would want to live right in that area because there is so much good food. And not to say there isn't anywhere else in New York, because New York's like the capital of good food, I think. But it was a good spot. Now I'm like in a financial district. I didn't get really a chance to explore yet, but it seems pretty chill down here too. The Station 3 is close to us, and that's where the event's going to be tomorrow and Sunday. So it's all in walking distance. And last time I was down this area, the thing about New York is I feel like it just like moves around where it's cool and not. Because like back in the day, that where I was at in Williamsburg was kind of a shithole. Now it's like kind of fun and nice and cool and good vibes. And it's kind of the same down here too. There's like all kind of like bike lanes and walking lanes, and I don't remember that being a thing down where I'm at. So I think they did a pretty good job of that. So yeah, man, you guys will have a good time like wherever you stay at down here. But what do you got going on?
I don't know much, man. Just catching up on some work today. Took yesterday off and went on a little day trip, and then today I'm wrapping up some stuff I should have done yesterday, and got on this morning. Was listening to you talk. I really can't wait to see your coverage on the event you're doing tomorrow. Like, I didn't realize that was like a small, like almost dev only, not public, but that seems like where you get some really cool
Oh yeah,
information. So definitely
yeah,
looking
dude.
forward to that. I wish I could attend something like that. That seems like that'd be my style of thing to go to. Went and minted punks this morning on Stargaze, and then I'm working on my collection today, doing some upcoming stuff. We got some pretty cool stuff coming out later this year. But yeah, dude, just chilling, working.
Yeah, man. I see you have a at NFT Nashville. Did you live down in Nashville area
Well,
by
I'm
chance?
from I'm from West Kentucky. I grew up
Okay.
in Western Kentucky, but I lived in Nashville for 2 years. I live in Louisville right now, and then I'm one of those kind of people. I've traveled all over. I got into crypto in 2012, so
Oh yeah.
every now and then I'll take a year off. I went to Mexico and lived for a year. I'll just do what I can. I'll work for a few years, and then almost every time after a bull market ends, if I did well, and I feel like just going out and doing something different, I might try it. But I don't know. It was different. I wasn't married back then. Getting married has definitely changed my perspective, and she wants a family, so maybe this bull run it won't be the same. But
Yeah, man. I think that the market's probably gonna. It all depends. Like, it's a crazy economic time that we live in right now. Like, I think it's more unsettling than we've ever experienced in our lifetimes, regardless of your age.
yeah,
So it's kind of wild. Like, anything's just uncertain, but it's just there's so many different scenarios that can happen. Like unlikely scenarios or just scenarios, regardless of your like political stance or your left, right, or the middle. But I think if Trump can somehow win, if he's not like in jail for something, but if he can win, I think that would just make the market just go bonkers. It won't even make sense, like what the market will do. That could be crazy. And then even if he doesn't, I still see scenarios where the market will probably run till like this time next year, at least, in my opinion, because off the debt cycles and liquidity they're kind of freeing up in the world. And I don't know. It seems like one of the things that's an issue with America is that the presidents, one of the things that some countries don't have as we do is you run in different administrations every 4. Sometimes they get to go in for 8 years, but none of them want to go in there and essentially do exactly what they need to do to kind of get the dollar or get the debt under control. They just get do more debt because who doesn't like the dickhead that goes to the bar and just buys everyone drinks on a credit card or whatever, like everyone always likes that idiot. And like that's what all the presidents, it doesn't matter if you're on the left or right, it's like they just keep doing the same shit over and over because they don't want to be known as, oh man, like the economy did roll shitty under my 4 years or my 8 years. Well, really it didn't if you stop printing, debt and all this shit, but they don't want to do that. And I guess, I don't know, if you were going in, would you want to be like the president's known for, not spending any money, not like, investing in other countries or whatever the hell is going on. But so I think eventually the money's just they're going to print more money, probably lower the interest rates. And then, it sucks for people that don't have any money. It's going to make it even worse for them because they're never, ever, ever in their lifetime, or probably maybe even their kids' lifetime, be able to afford a home and buy property or whatever. They're always going to just keep, but I don't know. Sometimes like I get conspiratorial and think it's just by design. It's just like, oh, we want people that either have a lot of money or just no money and nothing in between, which kind of sucks because, most of the people in the middle, they just want to chill. They want to work their ass off and be like left, make it a little bit better for their kids or, and so forth. But they're the ones that always get screwed, is the people in the middle that, bust their ass, try to, like you said, raise a family. And then, you just keep getting screwed because everything goes like, what hasn't gone up in price? Like everything is going up and up and up. It's just obnoxious. And it's like, but it's all from bad policy, whether left or right. It's just anytime, like imagine if you and I just had this rig, like where we can just have 0% interest on like our money. And then it's like, oh, well, we need more money, even though you said you're only going to give us this much and we're just going to spend more than that. And they all keep doing it over and over and over. It's so stupid. Like I have experience in the government. Like you would get X amount of money and then you would have these contracts. And as soon as the contract's running up and say you actually did have a good department head or good someone, they're like, well, guess what? We got to spend all this because we're not going to be able to get as much on the next contract. And so they'll just buy a bunch of stupid shit and do nothing with it, or make some shady deals with these like third parties and say, hey, yeah, we'll buy your software, even though we don't need your software. They just do shit like that. It just pisses me off. And it's like, I wish people would stop. I think this in America, it doesn't change until there's more parties. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It's like we need more parties. We need more people that can contribute, not just left and right. But I'm not trying to get political. It's just kind of shitty. My whole moral of that like rant was essentially that all assets are going to go up, in my opinion. So like even, crypto and liquidity. So if you have, some capital and cash on the sidelines, you're probably going to capitalize. So that's my moral of that. So anyways.
Yeah, dude, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think either party is willing to be the one that takes the hit. I don't think any politician wants to. So until that changes, you're right. These assets are going to continue to inflate, and of course it'll be boom bust. But
Yeah.
it's the only thing you can do to offset. You can't save in cash. You
No.
have to be in assets that gain, because if not, you're just getting left behind. So I think you're on point, dude.
Yeah, it sucks because like they kind of forced us in the I'd say about last 20 years. I'm not trying to blame any particular president. I think it all started when the 08-09 crisis happened. That's when the country turned everyone into gamblers. Like you have to gamble. Like you can't just like, even if you own property or a home or something, you have to be at least taking out like 15 to 20% of whatever asset you have in a loan, and then use that money for whatever to make more money or whatever. Like it's almost stupid. And none of this is financial advice, but this is what I would be doing. Even if you were gritty and you like worked your ass off and you're like, oh, I bought this home, and say whatever, we'll just use random numbers. It's worth $250,000. And if you came to me when you're like, oh, I don't have any mortgage or any loan against my home, I would personally think you're an idiot. I'd be like, in my back of my head, I'd be like, all right, this person's kind of an idiot, because it's like, you need to take at least a little bit of that, that capital you have or that building you have or whatever, and use that money to make more money with it, because it's just an idle asset. Like, yeah, maybe it keeps going up in value over time. That's not a guarantee. It kind of is right now because they just keep printing more money. So essentially, it's artificially going up. It's not going up because of productivity, but it's going up in price. But like, let's say it didn't somehow, or we had a retracement in your assets, which is a likely scenario. It could happen too. If you're not using some money that you have in your assets, it's like to make more money with it or whatever, like I think it's kind of pointless. Like, but yeah, it's just it basically forces everyone to be a gambler. Back in the day, you could buy like government bonds, you can just put your money in savings accounts, and you were still kind of beating inflation. And then all of a sudden, it just got real out of hand when '08 and '09 happened, and that administration decided to bail out all the banks and then like give more power to the government. It was just like, man, this is not good. And then it's just been cycling off. I think not trying to be political. I think Trump was doing a good job, and then COVID happened, and then they just started they just printed money like it was no other. And then it's just been a cycle. And then this administration is doing the same shit. And then, like, I don't care who wins, it's probably going to be the same thing. It might even be even worse with the spending. And then, it's just like the cycle. When's that going to end? And that's why it's sad, man. You got to like, you have to hope and pray that Bitcoin is that savior. It might be, it's no guarantee. I still like when you listen to these people. I don't care who they are, and they're so adamant that Bitcoin is that savior. I'm not saying it's not going to be, but they're so adamant. Like I'm like, it's still, man. If you think about it, like Bitcoin's awesome, but it's not a productive thing. Like it doesn't produce. Like it holds value right now, but that's not a guarantee. Like usually when you want to like throw your money at something or be good with it, it needs to be like something that keeps producing. Like does it keep producing? I don't know. So it's a scary thing, It's like everything's kind of just made out to be a gamble nowadays. It's like everything's a gamble. But no, man. So like, tell me a little bit more about your NFT project.
Yeah, dude. Real quick, I'm just going to double back on what you said. I think that Bitcoin has that potential, but even, dude, I was buying Bitcoin like early. It's all about network effect, and I'm not quite sure that the younger generation, as crypto has changed so much in the last decade, I don't see, and really, it's sad. I think maximalism kind of puts the younger generation off, and a lack of understanding. But there's a lot of things that Bitcoin needs to do different before you're going to see the kind of adoption. Before I'd label it a savior, and that's coming from someone who, dude, I still hold like most of my savings in Bitcoin, but there's always risk to it. And there's risk to any asset, and I don't think you put all your bread in one basket. So for
Yeah,
maximalists out there, I think that's a stupid investment thesis. Even if you truly believe it's the one, it shouldn't be the only thing that you're in my opinion. But anyways, I just want to kind of double back on that.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Before you tell me about your NFT project, yeah, I totally agree with that. Because if you really think about it from day one, like I get it. The white paper was awesome. It was probably created by someone. It was definitely created by someone that knows exactly the U.S. debt cycle. Because I was telling you about the '08, '09 thing. That's exactly when Bitcoin came out. Like the whole, started to come out with the thesis, and they understood all that. But if you really think about it, I mean, it was technically a meme coin. In theory, it still technically is a meme coin because in order for me not to be like it's a meme coin, you need to actually produce revenues. It still technically doesn't produce revenues. So it's in theory, it's more like, you get those idiots. I don't want to say they're idiots, but like you get the people that are like, oh, it's like, you remember 5-6 years ago, some people, I think even like Mark Cuban was even saying this, but he was like, I would rather collect Pokemon cards or whatever because he was like, they were referring it to as that. So yeah. And then like the last point before you go to the NFT talk is, well, actually, I just forgot my train of thought. Was oh yeah, like I like to think of all the blockchains as like planets in the in the galaxy, and there's so many meteorites out there, and they're going to smash into a lot of them. So it's like, why would you want to own, one chain? And that's it. Like to me, it's stupid. It's like own a bunch of them, and then hope and pray, hope and pray, man. That's all. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, dude. I like your train of thought, and I think more people are going to figure this out over time. A lot of newer people when they come into crypto, it just takes a while for them to be here long enough to see some of the things. You just have to be here for longer than I'd say a cycle or two, and you start to pick up on a lot of nuance that you just don't have when you first come in. But yeah, I think everyone will get there when they get there, including me. I'm always growing, always learning. But yeah, dude. So as far as mine, I think I've messaged you here and there uh, in your DMs. I can't remember. I usually do a lot of DMs. So, but mine's basically an NFT project that is kind of like a gamified. I won't call it betting because whenever you're being paid out in staking rewards and not necessarily from another person, I don't think that's betting. But as you play the game, there are things that you do to bet. So effectively what you do is all the NFTs are pegged to a UFC fighter. Um, Whenever that fighter fights on a real world UFC event, if they win and you're holding that NFT, you can earn from the rewards pool. It's not just for the current fight. The longer you hold it, you have future potential wins as well. If we host a fight of the same fighter, that same NFT you bought can earn over and over. Of course, we mint the NFT on demand going into the fight, and then we cap it. So after the fight that comes up, after that fight happens, we'll cap it, meaning that that version of that fighter won't mint anymore. So if all we mint is 6, that's what you get. If we mint 20 or 30, that's what you get. On their next fight, in a few months, we mint the next version. And then a few months later, the next version. So we kind of make different versions for the same fighters, NFTs, and that gives you new art, and it gives you a reason to kind of keep collecting. From a sales perspective, if I just sold you an NFT and said, here's the fighter, and you earn on other wins, but there's only that one NFT, that one card, if it's like a trading card game, there's not really a reason for you to keep buying more in the future every time they fight. So what that does is that stagnates the staking rewards pool. So we've kind of gamified why you collect them. The other thing we do is let's say a fighter retires or they leave the UFC, you don't really have a way to earn after that because they're not winning fights anymore. So what we've done is if you own one of every single version, you can burn those NFTs and mint a legend NFT, and that's where the actual betting comes in. Because if you have a legend NFT, that fighter is retired, they're not in the UFC, but we're going to have it where you can deposit into the treasury of the DAO, and then you can compete to see who gets to bet on someone else's fight. So if you use your legend NFT to bet on someone else's fight and you win, you'll steal 50% of the pot. If you lose, though, the winners holding the winning NFT, they'll use the DAO governance to vote on what to do with your legend. They'll either burn it, they can award it to a single player, or they can award it to a DAO treasury address. So we're going to kind of make this like, even though it's kind of like a staking rewards game with a little bit of incentives to collect, a little bit of strategy in play, we're going to turn it into like a DAO versus DAO betting game. So I know there's a lot to it. There's a little bit of overview. I will say this for right now: if you buy the NFT, it's buy and hold. For those who keep up with OmniFlix, they have the ongoing vote right now to launch the DAO contracts. Once DAO is live, we'll require you to stake the NFTs in order to collect from the rewards pool. We do that for 2 reasons. One, it pulls most of those NFTs off the market. So if you're selling on secondary, you have less competition. That should drive the secondary price of NFTs up. If most of them are staked for rewards, you've only got a few flipping on the market. That's a good thing. The other thing is it makes it easier to track and keep track of who's actually playing. If you have your NFT staked and someone loses their legend NFT, it's easy for us to like pull you into the secondary DAO via your OmniFlix address and vote. So for right now, it's buy and hold to play. Once the DAO contracts are live on OmniFlix, it eventually will become an in-DAO game where you stake it to play, and then we'll utilize the treasury and some of the other voting mechanisms to kind of gamify the betting. So thanks for letting me show that,
Yeah,
Hoss.
man.
Definitely appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just I get a lot of the fights. I'm more of a boxing fan, but I will buy the UFC fights where I think that they're going to stand up and fight the entire time and not just ground and pound or, well, not that I don't like ground and pound, but just the whole submission stuff. It gets kind of boring. But that last fight with what was it? You probably know. I can't think of the names right now.
Poirier and Makachev.
Yeah, it was the main event in the fight before because I'm a big Sean Strickland fan, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, Dude, Sean
Yeah,
Strickland, his fighting style is so wild. People
I
tend to
love his
have
fight. His
an
fighting style is
issue.
the best fighting style I've ever seen in my life. I just love it. He literally comes right at you the entire time. He just
He
front
just
kicks
moves
you.
forward.
He front kicks you the entire time. That's all he does. And then he tries to get in range and 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. That's all he does, but it works. And like he won that last fight. He got robbed against that the guy from Africa, the South
Yeah,
African.
when he
Yeah,
lost the
Dupuy
title,
or
he
whatever. Yeah,
definitely beat. Yeah, he definitely won that fight. That was so stupid, and he destroyed Costa in this fight. Like that was
destroyed him.
he's a puzzle to beat. He's a puzzle to beat. He's going to get the title
But
back.
yeah, the thing about it is, anyone with eyeballs know that he won that fight. But obviously, one judge still didn't give him that fight. I just think because of his antics, because he's real raw. He says a lot of shit. Maybe a lot of people agree with his stuff. Maybe they don't. But he says a lot of confrontational stuff,
He
and he has
does.
no filter at all. He has zero filter, and I think. Even as Dana White, he's like kind of a free speech maxi. There's definitely people that were like in his eardrums saying like we got to contain this guy because he says too much confrontational stuff and he pisses off too many people, and like at the end of the day they still want sponsorships and they still want that money. So it's like, why would you make him the face, right? They like that what's his name, because that narrative is in. He's kind of I mean his the stuff that he says is basically racist. What's the dude from what's the other guy that he just beat?
DDP,
Sonya?
South Africa. Oh,
No,
Adesanya.
yeah, he whooped his ass, and then like it's just because it was a no brainer that he beat him so bad that they had to say he won that fight. But
Yeah.
like I knew as soon as he won that they're going to do whatever they can to get his belt off of him because he just like I said, he'll go like I think you or is it you or the last at the other guy that's in it's not you, the last person we had, he's from Canada, but like when he went up to Canada he was saying so much stuff that alienate himself from the narrative that's going on in Canada. It's like, dude, the stuff he says, bro, like he they
Yeah,
don't want
he's not politically correct, and
not at all.
from like a pro wrestling WWE vibe, like you kind of want characters because like obviously styles make fights, but characters drive your average like retail viewer who may not be the biggest UFC fan, but if there's some sort of like Conor McGregor throwing chairs at the bus, they're like, oh, I got to see that. So your casual fan basically. But dude, I think Sean Strickland, like you said, he's a superstar. His fighting style is amazing, and yes, he's kind of like your Stone Cold from the WWE, where
Oh yeah.
he's like an in-betweener. People either love him or hate him, but people want to pay to either see him win or see him get his ass kicked. And that's not a bad thing from a marketing perspective, but you're right. It comes at the risk of like really large brand names pulling their sponsorship in a woke kind of like society where they don't want anything to do with race or politicizing. For him though, dude, we don't use UFC as far as the logos. We can't use the fighters' names, their likeness. I kind of walk a gray area where I have to. Basically, you're buying NFTs that are my characters and they're kind of pegged to the fighter. But Sean Strickland was one of those guys. When I was trying to come up with the character, I'm like trying to figure out like what do I name him? What's the character's name? And I named him the Cook because he was doing an interview one day and he's talking about like if I wasn't in the UFC fighting, I'd probably be cooking meth somewhere. So I like to kind of like poke fun at some of it. So that's his name in the game is the Cook. He does look like he'd be like slinging meth somewhere.
Yeah, it should be like Stone Cold the Cook or whatever. Yeah, dude. I just like his style because like he always comes forward and he wants you to be a man, come in the middle of the ring and just throw hands, and that's it. Like he either knocks you out or you knock him out. And how can't you like that? Like his antics and all that are a different thing. But like his fighting style, he doesn't care who you are. Like if you look at Acosta, that dude is physically more bigger than Sean Strickland, right? Even when he won that fight, Joe Rogan was like, you did really good. He was like that, he starts cussing. He's like, that fight was bullshit. He was like, I thought we were going to be men and meet in the middle and actually throw hands. He's like, I never claimed to be fast. That Brazilian's real fast. All he did was run around. He's saying that shit. And it's so true though. Like if you watch that fight, man, that Acosta, all he was doing was throwing leg kicks and then just running around for the rest of the fight.
Yeah,
It was such a
once
funny fight.
once he started checking those leg kicks, man, he was hurting Costa bad. Like Costa was his game plan was not working out. He should have just started shooting and trying to turn it into grappling, I think. But like you said, that would have been even more boring. So, but yeah, dude, I know a lot of people in crypto that may not be boxing fans, they may not be fight fans, but that is the one thing I can say is even if you're not a fight fan, if you just look at it as in like, hey, there's a way to use there's a catalyst that determines who gets paid out the rewards. That could be a random number generator, that could be the outcome of a sport. I don't think you have to be a UFC fan to kind of like get into the actual NFT game. And I think that once you see the strategy of it and that it's really based on like DAO governance power and it's going to have like a lot of recruiting and team building to see who can collect cards and who has the most voting power. I think that's going to be the cool part of it is I don't think you have to be a fight fan, but if you are, it's definitely the kind of thing you want to play. And I always enjoy doing it. So for me, it's like, I don't know if you ever listened to that D-Pen dude that has the power bottom.
I'm not sure.
What is his name? He hosts it's Bella from Astrovault, Archway Blockchain, and then his name is Scott. Anyways, he always talks about like D-Pen stuff, and he says that one of the things that we're missing in Cosmos or in crypto and DeFi is entertainment, and that was one of the
Yeah,
things I wanted to do. Is like if you're thinking about an NFT collection, no matter how big they are, even something as popular and valuable as Bad Kids. Every bear market, if you've been around long enough, you see the bear market. Most of these blue chip NFTs, they lose value right along with the rest of the market. I was trying to create something that was pegged to something that was not necessarily dependent on market cycles. Like if you're a UFC fan or if you're like a collectible card trading fan, you don't care what the price of Bitcoin is, what the price of Atom is, what the price of Stars is, or Flix is. You're going to watch these fights month in, month out, and it gives you a reason to play the game and use the DAO and collect the NFTs. So that's really what I'm trying to prove. I'm using UFC in a sport, but really it's just a catalyst to show you that how entertainment and sports can be used in NFTs to kind of like keep them up in bear markets.
yeah, well said. And I think there is a lot of fans. Like one of the things that you see at all these conferences now is they have like kickboxing or some sort of fighting or some sort of influencer boxing or influencer kickboxing. So I think there are a lot of fans out there that like. I mean, if you think about it, it goes back in like historical times. Like people used to like the gladiators fighting and to death and stuff. It's kind of like we're kind of a barbaric society in essence, but. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam, I'll bring you back up, man. I don't know, maybe you got rugged. I was actually just going to pass the mic over to Adam.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to shut up, so I saw his hand raised. I was going to be quiet. And yeah, for those who want to meet me or talk to me, feel free. I'm going to be in NFT Nashville with Crypto Tank. I think that's in July sometime. So if anyone's going to be there, try to find me. My name's Chris, and we can talk about it. And kind of like what you just said, Hoss, Tank and I were joking because Tank does jiu-jitsu and I do jiu-jitsu as well. Is if anyone wants to roll with us, come try your hand out and see how well you do. It'd be a fun little thing to roll with some people and let them try out jiu-jitsu and wrestling.
Nice. What's up, Adam?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm driving and sometimes the Bluetooth is shit. Yeah, just wanted to ask you what's your take on this crypto Twitter influencers fighting like BitBoy, Ansem, and so on.
I think it's funny. Ansem, he looked like a drunk giraffe when he fought. As soon as he went out there, because I'm a real big boxer. I've been watching boxing. I'm 38. I've been watching boxing since I've been out of the womb. It was like a thing in my family. Learn how to throw hands and like fight, but also like the beauty behind it, the methodical, strategic movements, and like you're doing everything with the purpose. And I don't want to say I'm a gory person, but I love watching fights. But yeah, it's funny watching him when he went out there. I was like, oh, he's getting his ass rocked. I don't even care about the other person that other person had any skill. He just was like flat footed. He's real tall. He had no movement. It was funny watching him. I was like, he's gonna get rocked. And he did. He went to sleep. Basically, they threw you don't really see that too much in actually just like influencer fighting is where the ref is like, all right, bro, this guy can't take it anymore. He's gonna get beat up real bad. But I kind of like it. It's funny because a lot of them talk shit, so it's like let them go out there and throw hands, and if they want to do it now. I think it's kind of stupid in the sense that a lot of them don't even get paid, or if they do, it's not worth it. Like, as much as I wouldn't mind throwing hands, it's like I'm not going out there at 38 years old to maybe get punched in the face for like $1,000. You know what I mean? It's like, what is that? You could make that buying a stupid meme coin for free, watching TV, and like, but
I
that's just me.
think, yeah, I think the most that they're getting is not the actual pay for the fight, but it's more like the followers and notoriety that they're getting, and then they might get some deals after. So it
Possibly,
might be
but
more like
but like
attention grabbing kind of stuff.
yeah, I guess if you're a smaller influencer, it'd probably be worth it more than it would be for like someone like Ansem. Like, that dude's got so many followers, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably pointless for him. I don't care.
Who wanna fight me? Who wanna fight me? I'm a small influencer.
Yeah. Um, But no, I know BitBoy gets a lot of shit, but I thought when he fought it was a good fight because he just went forward the entire time, and I just respect people when they fight, they just go forward. They're just like, look, I'm here, like I'm either rocking you or you're rocking me, and we're not playing these little kid games. Like and that's why, like I was saying earlier, that Sean Strickland, I just like him. I don't care too much for all his antics, like outside of the fights. I think it's kind of funny because I'm more of a free speech maxi. Even if I disagree with your takes, I'm just like, I have nothing but respect for people to just say how they feel, even if it's wrong or whatever. But Sean Strickland, he just goes forward the entire time. He doesn't care. He doesn't care who you are. It doesn't matter. So it's like I have nothing but respect for people like that because, they're gritty people. They're not taking anyone's shit. But no, I think it's going to be more prevalent. It seems like all these conferences now. Again, like to Chris's point, it's all about entertainment, right? Like you look at meme coins, why they take off so much. And honestly, I don't know how many in the top 100 are meme coins right now. A lot of them. So it's like it's entertainment, and people want to have fun. That's what it's about. And speaking of meme coins, I'm gonna be having actually, it's live now. I'm putting the website together. I don't care to make a penny off it. I don't even think I'm gonna make money off it. It's more about good vibes and fun and things like that. But it's called Coffee with Hoss, and I'm gonna try to do these spaces every Friday as long as I can, and not like, I think last Friday I wasn't able to do it because I was actually at the conference. But as you can tell, I'm kind of dedicated to it. I'm in New York right now hosting it, and I can't wait to get outside and go do some stuff. But I'm going to do these every Friday as long as I can. And, the coffee token, I actually have some for marketing. So if you guys download the FX wallet, independent, it's just your OX wallet address. So anyone that's in here, if you download the wallet and you, send me a DM either on here or Telegram, I'll send you some coffee tokens. But hopefully next week I'll have everything up and running. I've just been traveling and doing a lot of running around like a maniac. But I'm going to have the website up, and then it'll be more fun, and it's going to be, the liquidity is going to be on MarginX, which is a pretty cool place. It's like the meme coin playground right now. So it's cool. It has perps, has a bunch of different assets. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you make money on it, good. If you don't, I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just more just doing it for fun. So that is that. And if anyone has any closing thoughts or like what you're excited about, like I said, I'm going to try to do I don't say a lot of content, but I will definitely fill people in throughout the week, next week, and, next Friday about my thoughts on this conference. And I like to do stuff like this when it's the devs just building stuff and it's not really them showing, they're just actually talking. It's really nerdy, a lot of jargon and technical jargon, which for the most part, I know exactly what they're talking about because I spent so many hours on private calls with them that I know what they're talking about, which is crazy to think if you would have told me this like 3-4 years ago that I would know a lot about crypto and I'd be doing this for a living. I thought you were bizarre, but that's what I love about crypto, man. It's unlimited possibilities. Like there's always action. Crypto never sleeps. It's like a degenerate gambler adage and everything in between. And it's awesome that the space is just keeps moving forward. It doesn't care about what like Gary Gensler or what boomers say about it. It just these developers and they're just engineers. Like engineers love problems. They love to fix things and solve things, and they're starting to do it. I don't know about Ethereum getting solved because I just did a transaction the other day and the gas fee was still like $38, and I'm just like, oh, this sucks. But ultrasound money, I guess, right? And anyways, what's up, Adam?
Yeah, I feel like you wanna wrap it up. Just wanted to uh, ask you about the fightings with Mike Tyson and Logan Paul.
Oh yeah. So I know.
That's another one.
Yeah, man. Mike Tyson, like I literally grew up watching Mike Tyson. Like it was the thing, man. Like we didn't have much growing up where I was at, but my dad, he would get all the fights. I actually got them for free back in the day. But we would watch all the fights. Like all my buddies would come over as kids, and like, dude, I grew up watching Mike Tyson. I remember I was like, I forget how old I was. I was just a young kid. But when Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas, it was awesome, or it was awful. I was like, oh, man, Mike Tyson's like, even still, dude, he's like, people don't realize how big of a celebrity that guy is. You can talk to people that have like they're billionaires, and they say Mike Tyson's just different. And I think if he actually does fight, that he probably is going to rock Jake Paul. But although Jake Paul, if he wasn't, an ex-YouTuber, like he actually is a decent fighter. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tough because he's so much younger, man. Like that's the thing. You don't lose your power as you get older. Like you still have that knockout, but as much as Mike Tyson looks good for his age, he still is 58 years old. I think he is. So and Jake Paul is like in his 20s still. So that's tough for Tyson. But I wouldn't put
You
it
still
past
have
him.
doubts? I mean, I'm all in on Mike. I mean,
Oh no, dude, I'm
the
all
guy
in
can.
too. But at being that age, the age difference, that like all Jake Paul has to do is try to survive any onslaught. And like, yes, as much as like Mike Tyson, I think if Tyson gets in on him, he's gonna. I think what Tyson's gonna do is he's gonna hit Jake Paul with a body shot that he's not gonna be able to get up because people don't realize like how awful it hurts to get hit in certain positions of your body. And I think Tyson's going to be able to hit him with like a left hook right into like right into his rib cage or his abdomen, his abs or whatever, and it's going to put Paul down. He's not going to be able to get up, in my opinion. I think that's going to happen, but I can also see a scenario where like Jake Paul just runs around and just tries to survive, and if he does, then it might be good for him because regardless of how Tyson looks, I mean, when you're 58, it's hard you can't really train to fight a long fight. I don't know. I would still put my money on Mike Tyson. I would put $0 on Jake Paul to win that fight, but you never know. It's crazy because you never know what they're gonna do. Like, do they have a gentleman's agreement? It's like, hey man, like I'm 58. I won't knock you out. You know what I mean? I don't know. Does Mike Tyson say, look, man, I'm because he is a fighter, obviously, right? Like the fighting never leaves you. Doesn't matter your age. So does he say, look, I'm going to teach this young pup a lesson that like it's not easy to just one day say, hey, I'm going to be a fighter. You're either a fighter or you're not. You're either a fighter or you aren't a fighter. Like everyone talks about wanting to be a fighter, but once they get punched in the mouth, do they want to keep doing it? But like Jake Paul has been doing it, so who knows? He's been fighting a bunch of chumps. I mean, I don't want to say chumps because like UFC guys aren't chumps. They're just not trained to fight with boxing gloves. They're trained to be able to kick you and do whatever the hell they want to do. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I would put my money on Mike Tyson though if I had to, gun to the head. Like, what are you doing? I'm taking Tyson. But isn't that fight's postponed though? So
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, do you think they're still going to fight or what?
yeah. Sorry for the background music. I entered the supermarket. My wife sent me to buy some stuff. But yeah, I just know they're fighting. I didn't follow up closely too much. But since we're discussing fights, this was an interesting one as well. So yeah, I think I'm all in on Mike, regardless of his age.
He had
The guy still has it.
he had an ulcer flare up. He was flying from I think L.A. to Vegas or something, or maybe it was a further flight than that. But he had like an ulcer because he's been training so hard that I guess he had like ulcer that flared up, and the fight got postponed. But I seen that he was talking about he'll be fine, and then the fight's still going to go on, but it's not going to be as according. I think it was supposed to get next month. I think it's going to be postponed. I haven't been
I
following it
think
to
it's
see
later this
exactly when.
year, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Tyson drop his ass, to be honest with you, but I don't know, man. I still, as much as I think that's the likely scenario. I could see a scenario where that doesn't happen, but Tyson could, I don't know, man. It's just so hard to say because he's so much younger than him. He's 30. He's over 30 years younger, dude. Like I'm 38, and I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, and it's like, dude, I mean, he's not just someone else, right? It's Mike Tyson. He's a legend. But it's like dude, my knee's sore right now, right? And he's 20 years older than me, Mike Tyson. So it's like, obviously he's having issues. If you're just on a flight and your ulcers are flaring up, it's like, But I would love to see him drop Jake Paul, dude. I would pay money to see that shit. I'm
I'd
definitely
love to
gonna.
see
It's
anybody drop Jake Paul at this point.
Yeah, because he does run his mouth, but I mean, he's not. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
It has been nice.
He's
Yeah,
not
it
a
has
bad
kind of
fighter.
revitalized boxing. Yeah, and he's not as bad as what you'd expect from a YouTuber, right? He definitely has put in some work. And like you said, that these MMA guys, they are not boxers. The movement, the grappling, the kicks, everything you do, everything in MMA is different. And it's not to say those guys can't strike at all. They'd probably kick your average guy on the street's ass, but
Oh,
they're
not
not
even
going to beat
probably.
most
They
high
definitely
level.
would kick everyone's ass. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to beat high level boxers though, right? They're just not. Boxing, the sport of boxing and the sport of MMA are radically different. And like you said, the footwork, the distance management, even the clinching, the way you clinch in boxing is radically different than the way you clinch in MMA. So, but I would love to see someone. I mean, who was it? Jake Paul did fight one decent boxer. Was it?
The
And he
one.
lost.
He fought Tyson Fury's younger.
Tyson Fury's younger brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he fought what's his name too, and he's a good. He never really put anyone to the ground. What's the dude from California, Southern California,
I know you're
runs his
talking
mouth a
about.
lot? Nate
Wilder.
Diaz. He beat.
Yeah, actually he beat Nate. Yeah.
Yeah, and Nate Diaz is a good, he's known for, standing on his feet and just throwing hands, that's basically his style. So and he has good, Nate has good movement, good cardio, and he beat Nate. He beat Nate Diaz pretty easily, to be honest with you. That's what made me think,
Yeah.
all right, this
Nate.
dude's actually a decent boxer. Cause
Yeah, Nate didn't look good at all in that fight.
no, he looked like an idiot. Like he was smoking too much weed or something before the fight. Because you know what I mean? He didn't look like he was in shape for that shit, dude. I was like, damn, Nate. Like I thought you were gonna put a better showing than this. And he was hitting like his punches, and it was like getting hit with a pillow. It was like, dude, he's not throwing any sort of velocity behind these punches. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to go in there with Nate Diaz with gloves, but I'm like, I feel I could have went in there and been fine. Like his punches didn't look like he was throwing any power.
What did you think about when McGregor fought Mayweather a few years ago?
I was never the biggest Mayweather fan because he never fought anyone really in his prime, and when the only person he ever fought kind of in this prime, in my opinion, was Oscar, and I thought Oscar actually beat him back in the day. Oscar De La Hoya. If you never seen that fight, just YouTube it and watch it and see if you thought Oscar won that fight, because I thought he did, but he fought everyone kind of either too early in their their span. Like he fought Canelo when Canelo was so raw, and Canelo didn't have a good strategy against Mayweather. And I'm not trying to hate on Mayweather. Mayweather has literally the best defense any fighter has ever had in their life, even more than Muhammad Ali. Like he just never got hit, but it's like so boring watching him. He just like 1-2s and then he just like rolls and then he would just move, and it's it's just kind of boring. And the only time he would knock anyone out is because they know they're down in the score so much that they just got desperate, and then they would get countered, like counter hooked, and maybe they got dropped or whatever. But his fights, like, put it this way, like, I don't think anyone was really scared to fight Mayweather. Like, oh, I'm so timid, like he's gonna knock me out. They're just like, this dude is a freak. He's so fast that, so I'm not going to hate on him. It just was never interesting watching him. Like, I was never like, oh man, I can't wait to watch the Mayweather fight. I'm going to pay, $70 to watch him fight. It was more like, well, I want to pay to see Pacquiao knock him out or whatever. Because I like Pacquiao, but he never fought Pacquiao when
Yeah, same
Pacquiao was in
here.
his prime. You know what I mean? Like I think if you fight Pacquiao and Mayweather, like when Pacquiao's in his prime, I think Pacquiao beats him. But because even when he was older and
Agreed.
kind of he was more washed, Pacquiao put on a good display. Like I thought that was a pretty, for the most part, even fight. And I think Pacquiao broke his hand or something, so it was like. Yeah, but to answer your question about the McGregor actually did a lot better than I thought he was going to. He just got gassed because that's how McGregor's style is, even in the UFC. He comes out so fast, and if you can just if you can just last the first 2 rounds with him, you probably are going to beat him because he's just so gassed after that.
Yeah, out of all these MMA fighters that have came to boxing, I think the McGregor Mayweather fight was my favorite. I thought he did the best out of any MMA fighter, and it's something to be said. At least these guys are going over there and testing themselves in boxing. I don't think a lot of people expect them to win. What's his name?
But
Francis Ngannou that just fought. What's his name? Did you feel like he won that fight?
no,
He
I don't
lost
think
on the scorecards, but
Yeah, I don't. I thought he won as in but I also think, to be honest with you, man, full disclosure, like I'm a huge Tyson Fury fan. I think Tyson Fury just didn't take that serious at all.
yeah, I think he was just cruising, right? That's what it seemed like to me as well.
I think for sure if he had to fight, if he was trying to get that easy money again, because one thing about boxing, as much as I like it, it can get real sketchy at times. And I think that he either was like, all right, didn't take it serious enough, or he was doing it because he wants a rematch to make a bunch of money. But I think if they did rematch, I think he drops him this time, and he's not going to dick around, because he was dicking around, acting like an idiot. Even
Yeah,
the fight against I got the fight against Usyk. He was dicking around too much. And then
yeah,
Usyk finally caught him. And the thing about Fury, because he is a freak. I've never seen a guy of his size be able to move like he can. The dude is an athlete. He doesn't look like it because he has the the body fat or whatever. But the dude is a freak. He can move. And I think he at times he gives up offense for defense. He'll sacrifice. I meant to say he sacrifices defense for offense. And Usyk's the type of dude. Usyk is arguably the best mover, fight the person with the best movement in the history. I don't know when they say history, but because Muhammad Ali can move too, but he can move, and if you make mistakes, he always capitalizes. And then Fury was dicking around and dropped his hands and got caught. And all it takes when you're in heavyweight is you get caught once and you're in la la land. He got caught, and that was it. But he was winning that fight, and I still think if you go back against Usyk and actually just score it per round, he probably still edges out Usyk, or it's a draw. But obviously, he got dropped once, and people they kind of use that as the way they're going to judge a fight. It's oh well, he got dropped once, the other guy won. But I don't know. It was a close fight, but Usyk's nasty, dude. That he's a beast. He's so much smaller than Joshua, and he beat Joshua's ass twice, and he's so much smaller than Fury.
yeah, and he's super entertaining.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if they rematch like they say they are, I'm definitely paying for that, because it was a good fight. So yeah, man, I love fighting, man. That's the only thing to actually watch. It's crazy, is I don't watch TV at all. I literally don't watch TV.
I don't either, except for fighting or
Except for
YouTube.
fighting, and every once in a while, I'm a big football fan, so I'll watch Sundays when football comes on. I will either be at games, because I live right outside of Pittsburgh. I either go to the games or I watch them, and then that's it though. I don't oh yeah, did you watch this? I'm I don't watch TV really, but sometimes I'll binge watch a show or something. But I just don't watch TV. But
Too
yeah,
busy.
man. Yeah, like I said, for anyone out there, hit me up with the DM. I'll send you. It probably will be when I get home, and then, like I said, hopefully when I'll be getting back in the office essentially on Tuesday, and then I'll get the website up and running, and then man, good vibes, dude. Yeah, and let me know about your collection, dude. It's very interesting. I think there's only one other project that was kind of doing something similar. I don't want to say with fighting, but just sports and entertainment. Was Gelato did some stuff, with some fight or with football, I think it was. And I'm interested in stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me. Definitely appreciate it. Drop me your Flix address. Anyone listening today, if you drop me your Flix address, I'll drop you some free fighters for one of these upcoming fights. Appreciate it.
Before we go, do you bet on fights?
I used to heavily. I haven't as much, and that's one reason why I asked you about the McGregor Mayweather. Probably the last boxing fight that I put money on was that fight, and that's back when I forget what Bitcoin was back then, but I put 2 Bitcoins on McGregor, and I got my ass handed to me. So,
Dude, that's
but
you did that with emotion because you can't bet against Mayweather. Like as much
no,
as
no,
that
no.
dude irritates me, like I never liked Mayweather because I always thought
Yeah,
his
I'm like
fighting
you.
style pissed me off.
Yeah,
He just kind of
I
bounced.
was betting on that long shot. Like if he won, I would have had a huge payout. I was like, I don't think he will, but if he does, I'm going to capitalize on it. So, yeah, I'll do it every now and then for MMA. Not as much on boxing. That's the last boxing match I had, and then since I started this game, I haven't done as much, but it's mainly because almost every fight, I'm focused on pushing this out and paying out the winners. So, every now and then.
Do you you're gonna watch that McGregor and was it Chandler fight coming up?
Yeah, and that's one of them we're hosting. I'll drop I'll tweet out a link. I have a spreadsheet that kind of like shows which fighters are pegged to which NFT characters, and it lists which fights we're actually hosting. So you know which NFTs are for which fights coming up. But yeah, McGregor Chandler's one. I think we've got fights lined out all the way till September, and even in October we have a collab with a well-known artist that's going to have a pretty cool collection for when they go to Abu Dhabi in October. So for most of the year, we're pretty lined up on what we're doing, just dropping NFTs and dropping new collections for them.
Yeah, I think Chandler's gonna be him. By the way, I just
I hope so.
because
I wish
I mean
Conor should
McGregor.
retire.
Well, yeah, and I don't know, man. Once you get that limelight, like McGregor and all that, it's like
Once you get that FU money, you don't have to
yeah,
think anymore.
he has the FU money. So once you get to that point, I think it's really hard to sustain being like at the top of your game because you look at Tyson Fury, same thing. He has that FU money, and then you look at Usyk. Now probably Usyk has a little bit of the FU money, but like even as the champ, he never really had the FU money because it was like no, like yeah, people in Ukraine idolize him, obviously, rightfully so. Because if I was Ukrainian, I'd be idolizing Usyk as well, but it was like no one really cared to watch him fight. Like paid a bunch of money. Like they would pay a bunch of money to watch Joshua fight and Fury fight. But it's like Tyson Fury was that, especially after he beat Wilder. Basically I think 3 times. It was like he had so much money, and it's like how do you stay at the top? And then you're fighting someone Usyk that has more to fight for. Like he's fighting for his country. He's fighting because everyone's saying he can't fight against these big guys. It's really hard. He has that chip on his shoulder, and it's like it's the same thing with McGregor. He has so much money that as much as you're always a fighter, these other guys want to beat your ass, dude, because it's like you have all the money and the glory, and they're there to say like, no, like I'm pretty good too at what I do. So I think Chandler beats him. I would bet Chandler for sure on that fight because I like McGregor's been acting wild, dude, doing like a bunch of drugs
Likewise.
and shit. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I don't know, man. It's hard to just turn that switch on. So we'll see. It'll be interesting though. It's very interesting. I'm gonna watch that fight. I don't know if I want to pay for that fight though. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, do be safe in New York. Hope you have a safe trip back, and I'll be watching out for your review from what you see tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Hit me up if you need anything, and until the next one, I'll definitely next Friday at the same time, same place. Cheers, everyone. Take care.